that its form of government was a Senate and filled with representatives that among them they elected one person, to rule only for a year, and that instead of a monarch, go ahead, and they had 10 horns. Now the 10 horns are the 10 provinces that the Roman Empire consisted of. I want to know if you can get a close-up. First of all, the book is Atlas of the Roman World. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the book and show you how they have numbered 10 regions, right? Because the 10 horns was the 10 provinces of the Roman Empire. So I'm going to open the book up now, and I'm going to go to the page where they have it. It's actually a series of pages, and this is so little, if you can't get it, let me know and I'll bring the book closer, because I'm going to read them off. I have them written down on a piece of paper anyway, but I want to know if you can get that. That's kind of little there, ain't it? It's this right here. Too small? Is that come too fast? Those are the 10 provinces. I'm going to keep it up for a few more seconds, and I'm going to go back and sit down before my hands start shaking. Hear your body start vibrating and stuff. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to read them off. The 10 provinces are as follows. Where my province papers at? I just had my... You just put your bookmark, brother. Anyway, the 10, use it as a bookmark. You can get the one that doesn't written on. Okay. Britain, number 1. Gaul, number 2. Matter of fact, let's do that, because we got it going up here. Here we go. Britannia, that was number 1. Gaul, here it is right here. That was number 2. Germany, we got Upper Germany, Lower Germany. That was number 3. You had Spain, that was number 4. Africa wasn't the Africa that we know it today. When they said Africa, it was literally talking about the portions of land today that's known as Libya, all the way up into Gibraltar. Gibraltar is the point where Africa meets Spain, is it not? Like right here. Yeah, Gibraltar, the Straits of Gibraltar. That was considered Africa. That was another horn, another province. Then you had the Danube, which was this area up in here. Or the Danube. How do they say that here? The Danube. The Danube. You don't know. You from there. You don't know. Okay. Number 7, Greece. Right in here. That was another region. Then you had Asia Minor. Asia Minor was all of this. When you see it says Asia. That was Asia Minor. Then you had a region that the Romans referred to as the East, which consisted of Syria, Israel, and then Mesopotamia. This was once the Seleucid Empire. That was the Romans' 9th region, and then the 10th region was Egypt and Cyrene. You can see it right there. And that's why it's really the whole of what? The whole of the Mediterranean. But it said it had 10 horns, and you got it pretty good on the camera, right? Okay, cool. All right, read that last portion of verse 7 again. And it had 10 horns. Go ahead. So it's talking about the Roman Empire. Go ahead. Now let me say this. Today, it's the same thing, but it's the EU. That's what the 10 horns are. Matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and show you that. Daniel is going to bring it on up into modern day. This very same chapter. Continue, brother.
Verse 8. I considered the horns, meaning he said, I was looking at the horns, I'm still checking out these horns. I can't get over these horns.
Go ahead.
I considered the horns, and behold, there came out among them another little horn.
Out of these horns, another province, another power came. This is the verse where it transitions us from the ancient Roman world to the modern day post-Renaissance colonial America up into the present. That's the verse. I'm going to prove it to you. It says, out of all those horns, another little horn came. Continue.
Before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
It says 3 to 4, and we don't have to go to the map and bring it all the way to date now, but I'm going to show you. So this horn that it's talking about is talking about America. And when it says, read it again.
There came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
Out of these 10 horns, another horn came and took down 3 of those previous 10 horns, is what it's saying. That horn is talking about America that was once a colony of Britain. Okay? Now we're going to roll through the page of time in the map, so let's come on through it, brother. Alright, before we do that, the three horns that he took down, the 3 horns that he took down was Britain with the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812. Those were the 2 wars fought against the imperial crown of England, so to free themselves. In other words, for the British colonies in America to become known as the American states. For the 13 colonies to become known as the United States, they had a war of independence. 1776 marks it, among other, that's a demonic date in various ways. Then they turned around and had another war prior to the Civil War, was the War of 1812, where the President Andrew Jackson was known as the hero of the Battle of Louisiana. It's on 1840, all that stuff. It's talking about the Battle of 1812 that lasted from 1812 to 1814, where everything ended up in a stalemate because not only was Britain coming and trying to reacquire the United States and those colonies, but the United States was also waging war on British properties in Canada. And neither could make any advancements, and it ended up in a stalemate. So that was one horn of the 3. Of the 10 horns, it came from Britain, and it had to take down Britain, and then it had to go, in order to expand west, it had a series of Spanish-American wars to acquire the Mexican territory, to acquire territory that once belonged to New Spain. Like I said, once we change the map, or change the tape, we'll go to those maps that we've already beat it. So it had to take down Britain, it had to contend with Britain for its independence, and it had to contend with Spain for its expansion, and it took advantage of a situation that Napoleon was in. When he came out of exile from the island Elba and went to reassemble his army and went and waged, and fell at his last battle in Belgium in Waterloo. In other words, the Louisiana Purchase is how they got that whole Midwestern territory. That's why all the names are, French names. But those are the 3 horns that fell before this new horn. That's why I said it came up another horn. All right? Where we at? Okay, read that again, brother. Now, as you read it, I'm going to call it out. Read the same thing.
Verse 8. I considered these horns, and behold,
I was checking out the 10 horns.
They came up among them.
They came up from those 10 horns. Among them, go ahead.
Another little horn.
That was the birth of America. The American colonies born out of Britain. Go ahead.
Before whom,
meaning this dude was there. Continue.
There were 3 of the first horns,
3 of the first 10 horns, go ahead,
plucked up by the roots.
They had to be plucked up. In other words, they freed themselves, like I said, from England. They had to contend with Spain for its territories in order to be able to expand. That's what you got in Nevada, California, Nueva Mexico, all those places that are given Spanish names. Texas, Colorado, those were places for all Spain. And then it acquired the Louisiana Purchase territories, taking advantage of a precarious situation that Napoleon found himself in for so many million pounds of gold. All right? With that, we're going to take a break and come back with the third.